And welcome back to Will It Run. Today we are talking about the 8.6. So, short version, it's not a bad car. It's not a bad starter car. It does kind of lose a little bit of oomph towards the end. I still think the Axela is better for a starter car, but this one is not bad. Starts with 6 gears, so that's decent. It handles well for the most part. I mean, we're not going to complain about it too much. It's a decent car, but if I was to say anything about it, it's going to be outclassed by the Axela. It's going to be outclassed by this, and you can pick it up at the same time. So, and if you look at the dealer, when you look at the price between the two, you've got the, was that 2.7 versus the, I mean, it's just slightly cheaper. It ends up with more horsepower in the end. It's okay. It's not a bad car. It's definitely a decent starter car, but I would say if you're going to end up swapping off of a car later on and through the game, as you get through the more mid or to the end game, you're going to get the higher end cars, right? Your Skylines, your shit like that. I think in all reality, if you're going to pick a starter car to get you to that situation, the Axela is the way to go. The 8.6 will do it for you, but you might struggle a little bit more in the end than you would with the Axela. It just really comes down if you want a car that handles a little better and a slightly lower weight. This is going to be it for you. But as far as acceleration goes and just high end, the Alexia's, the Axela's got it beat. So, and on top of that, we're gonna run into, we ran this the Atenza as well. I was just curious on this one because it did have the Axela's same motor and it performed just like I thought it would. It's a little slightly heavier, couple more horsepower. It doesn't handle nearly as well. It handles decent, but not nearly as well, and it still pulls like a monster. Unfortunately, getting this one, it's way later than the Axela, so again, there's no point. So what I figured, you can come in here, get your starter car going. I'm gonna do a test on this. So we're gonna start with the Swift, unlock the Axela, and then that's gonna do for your first starters, and then you can start unlocking these cars down here once you beat stage 1. And I think we're gonna go into after stage 1, which cars. I mean, this is going to take you through stage 2. It's just going to, but with an early access, it's only having access to 2 stages. This is about as far as my testing can go, unfortunately. So we're going to go in with the, this is a good car, but the fact that you can get this one earlier and it's cheaper and it upgrades faster and cheaper, allowing you to bank more money towards the end to save towards these cars if you want it. My suggestion for your early game is just get the Axela and run it to mid game, and maybe even past stage 3, depending on how the upgrades go with after early access or when stage 3 gets released. We'll see. But as of right now, I say you run this one until you you can unlock some of the higher end cars, and then you can just kind of play around, because we don't really have a whole lot to do with the high end cars right now. I can get this Skyline, but by the time I've got it unlocked, got to the part of the stage where I can use it and have the money to buy and upgrade it, I don't have anybody to race that I haven't beaten already. So that's your biggest problem that we have right now going in for the early access, is we just don't really have anything that we can put these higher end cars to the test with. I mean, yeah, we know they're going to beat out the cars that we have available. Those rivals are lower end rivals. So I mean, what we have, we could test it with Melancholic Angel and the Gambler, maybe a couple of other Wanderers. It's just not a whole lot of reason to keep pushing further into these, because like I said, there's just nowhere to really test them on. But we're gonna do the Chaser next. Chaser looks pretty cool. I already did the Z. I actually beat the game with the Z first. Oh, actually, I didn't. I beat the game. The first time I beat it was with the Roadster. And then I chose the Z in the end game. So, or this particular Z, because it's one of my favorite cars. We haven't played with RX-7. Yeah. So, God, as much as I hate this car, I think we might have to test it out just to get it over with and puke on it. I do want to do, wow, I do want to do a build around the Lancer GSR, because I've always liked the Evo 5s. Those were always my favorite Evos. So, the next sets of runs, since we unlock all these cars at after stage 2, gotta beat Midnight Cinderella to unlock the rest of these, which that's the end of stage 2, so it's like, what do you do with the rest of these cars down here, you know? But anyway, so that's what my thoughts on it. The 8.6 is a good car. It's not a bad car. It's just not gonna... It's gonna do what it can do until like the last couple of bosses. Dark Tengu, these guys. It's gonna struggle on these a little bit. Let's see if we can... Let's just do a run with her real quick. It would just give you an idea, because so this is the nerfed version of her. I haven't beat her pre-nerfed on this game. I've beat her pre-nerfed before with the Miata. So I've beaten her pre-nerfed before, but this is pre-nerfed version of her. But you know, it's just the car just doesn't handle or doesn't accelerate quite like the Alexia does. Axela. It's just, and this right here was a big notification for it, because when you're in 4th and 5th gear, I'm already at like 130 miles an hour. And yes, I know I can go get some new parts, but we're not doing that just yet. Where you at? Here you go. But as you can see, you know, it handles very well around these corners. The speed's not bad. I mean, it did its job. It's just when I got to the end bosses, it struggled a lot more than it should. So I find that it falls off a little bit there when you get around these 3 bosses, where the Axela did not. So yeah. Start pulling on me now. Now it's just starting to do damage. This is where it falls off. It can't do it. It just doesn't seem to want to perform in this range. Like, it doesn't want to keep pulling, and I need it to keep pulling. Yeah, no, get off that wall. And it just doesn't have it. Unfortunately, it just doesn't have it. I mean, it's not like it's a bad car. You could probably come through here, and like I could probably set him up into this area right here and probably win by getting in front of him when he's fucking, or her, whoever this is, while they're trying to deal with the corners. It's doable. It's not that it's not doable. But, you know, the AI is stupid sometimes. And this, man, she's so slow compared to how she used to be. But it's just, you know, you're gonna struggle. Unless you want to unlock all the power now that you can unlock all the power, but since she wrecked, and this is going to be how you're going to have to work. I'm going to win because she wrecked. And except for like outrunning her like I could in the Axela, I could outrun her. Or outdrive her, I guess I should say, so. Well, there she's go. But, you know, pre-nerfed, she was definitely she was a lot faster. And, yeah, so now we've got her full version, her unnerfed version unlocked. But As I said, 8.6 is okay for a starter, but when you've got something that's already way better that you can pick up at around the same time, for you might as well just get that. It's going to push you further. You're going to get further without any struggling with it. And you honestly, you don't need so the new patch has got where they've made the unlocks a little easier to get, a little earlier to get, depending on bosses. You didn't need that. It was perfectly fine without all that. So now it probably will just get better. I'm going to actually test that out tonight. So but anyway, that is going to do it for this one. On the next one, we're going to do some of the hot moral cars, probably the GSR, the Evo 5, or the Chaser. I'm not quite sure. But we're going to do a run with this one now through to get to that situation. But anyway, if that made sense. It probably didn't. But anyway, appreciate you guys coming in and looking at it today. So what I suggest is the two cars for your starting, man, is you pick a Swift and pick a GT or 8.6, or pick it a Axela. Axela is what I would go with. Just kind of depends on if you want more handling or speed. So that's my opinion on it. Here's your starter cars. Cheap, easy to get, and they're fast. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. See you on the streets. Have a good one.